So good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that technical break. My name is Albert Clark. I'm over in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and we've got a program here called Home Actions, and I've been perfecting the e-newsletter business in real estate for about 21 years, because 21 years ago, I built the first ever electronic newsletter. So what we want to show you today is how to build a loyalty crusade, a holy war to generate loyalty from your clients, prospects, and friends. So I've got a bit of a background into this. I think I know what I'm talking about. And when we try to help agents, we try to get them over their pain points. And what we want them to do is actually, anticipate loyalty and allegiance coming from their prospects and clients. What we mean by that is we want you sending information that turns content into a conversation and reaching out to consumers that you know what they just did, you know what they just read, because everything in this newsletter is trackable. So when I ask agents, why can't you do the best possible job of staying in touch? This is what they tell me. Al, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I don't have everything. So this is everything wrapped up into a package. And we have about 450 ROG agents using the program today. And simply they're saying, Al, do it all for me. Build me a new database. Why? Because 9 out of 10 agents on this call right now don't have a clean current database. They have data, but it's all over the place. It's in their iPhone, their cloud, their MLS, their Gmail, everywhere. We're going to work with you on day one, literally this afternoon, if you want to, and we will build you a brand new database. Because going forward, if you don't have the database, you're not going to have systems in place. And that's what we're all about, is having a system here to communicate with your clients, prospects, and friends. So after we build you a new database and you approve it, it goes into the system. And once it goes into the system, AKA database, all the email addresses become exclusive. And what we mean by that is once Wendy puts in BettyJane@AOL.com, Tommy Sue and Mary Jean can't do that because the email address is already locked up. Okay, so when Wendy puts her in her agent account, when she enrolls her sphere of influence, that's everybody else is taken out. You can't concentrate, or you can't bang on Wendy's database because those email addresses are exclusive. Not many vendors in the industry have that feature. We do, and we're proud of it because we don't want consumers getting 5 newsletters from 5 different agents. So every 2 weeks before your newsletter goes out, and this goes out every 2 weeks, you can mark it for monthly delivery if you want, but your best benefits are going to come out of sending this every 2 weeks. About 99% of all of our agents send this out every 2 weeks. So here is on the left-hand side, since Wendy joined last night, we got her account up and running. We're working on her database now. Every article I'm showing you here now is trackable. When somebody opens it, we're going to tell you who. And if you find a lot of people clicking on what's sold down the street, what's my home worth, what's new with homeowners insurance, we track all these actionable issues, and we put content together and we push it out for you. We do all the sending, the writing, the technology, everything behind it. You just have to sit back and figure out who to call next because you know what they're interested in. Any questions yet there, Wendy?
No, not everything
right.
We're doing, and we're not.
Okay, so what you'll see again, it's also important what you won't see. You're not going to see chicken pot pie recipes. You're not going to see moving day tips. Okay, hard-hitting, impactful, and hyper-local information. Here's another example of some more articles up on the top right here. You'll notice her favorite restaurant. When we say we're going to get agents hyper-local, that's what we mean. We're going to get them promoting small businesses on Main Street. We're going to get them to use the Neighborhood 360 widget, which I'm going to show you in a couple slides. Okay, but what we want to do is empower your readers with all this great information, because they're going to suck it up and they're going to regenerate it and they're going to save your newsletters. We know that. We have all the stats. So here's another example. What we can do is bring in any content that you have that you're creating now. If you want to bring in your blog content, we'll do that for you. Your website, we'll put these newsletters on your website. We will show you how to send these newsletters by text okay, which is pretty cool because 98% of all texts get opened. Okay. So that's something that's new that we're going to perfect for you, and we know it's running. We're testing it out now, and you'll be able to send your very, very nice exclusive newsletter to those that you have telephone contacts for that you probably don't have email addresses for. Okay. Perfect example, Christy Martinelli here. We built her a brand new database. As successful as she is, she didn't have a clean database. 2,083 contacts we found in about 5 different places. And now we're promoting the newsletter. In the newsletter, we're promoting her podcast that she writes every 2 weeks. Okay, so it's a great way to get people back to your website. We know that. We have the facts and figures to show you that. Here's Christie's dashboard, part of one of the reports. 2,083 newsletters sent, 2,110 total opens. That means people are grabbing your newsletter, opening up articles, saving the newsletter because they want to do something with it later on. And we know that's, what that comes down to at the end of the day is they love the content that we're developing for you. Otherwise, they wouldn't open, click, and share. All right. But again, we have all the statistics that show you that. And also, Wendy, show of hands here. How many people can tell me how many hits you had on your website last night? Anybody raise their hand, Wendy?
I have no idea. I haven't checked it, but not that many.
Okay, did anybody else raise their hand?
No.
No. Okay. Usually somebody would say, hey, Al, that's a nice idea or a nice number to have. Where would I go and find that? Well, I can't help you on that one, but it's on your website. But anyway, what we want to do is promote the clickability, if you will, of the newsletter to land people on your website. So down the bottom there, you'll see 5 different links. There could be 6. Custom design, whatever you want us to drive traffic to, we will. And we will tell you who clicked on my website, search homes, testimonials. Because if they're banging on search homes on your website and they're not doing any really searching, something might be wrong with your website, or we need more focus on generating web hits. Okay, and we can talk to you about that. Okay, now again, we mentioned a little while ago sending your newsletter through text. We also have a sign-up page, which simply is, hey, here's my newsletter. Sign up for my home actions. This is great. So we're going to be able to bring more people into your database because they're more willing to opt up their email address because our content is that good. Okay. All right. So over on the right-hand side, you'll see my 570 number here in Scranton. Why don't you just grab your phone, send me a text, and I will reply with the newsletter for you. Okay. And you'll be able to see how cool this looks on an iPhone. And we built this for an iPhone. Okay, so go ahead and write down that number, and you can also keep the number for any questions you have later on. After the newsletter is launched, this is the cool part. We're going to start developing referrals for you from your readers because they're dedicated, because we built this crusade for you. Is the article valuable to you? Yes, yes, yes. Do you know somebody thinking about buying or selling a home? Well, we all know the golden rule when it comes to referrals, and I'm sure Wendy's told you this several times. If you don't ask for them, you don't get them. Because people are forgetful that you're even out there. Not when it comes to home actions. Every 2 weeks, you're in front of them with referral opportunities. We'll tell you what article they read, and we'll tell you when they read it, who they are, what other articles did they click on. Now,
Al, would you
yeah, go ahead.
Number again, because it went off the screen really fast. We didn't catch it.
You want me to go back?
Your phone number. Just your phone number.
Oh, my phone number, please. Okay, 570-510-3507. Okay, and keep that, and then I'm going to send you some newsletters once we're done here. Okay, so part of our desire to help you get what we call hyper local is our Neighborhood 360 widget, which I'm going to show you soon, and these kinds of articles that we could put in. My favorite restaurant. My resources for those that are 55 and above. So we have agents that like our niche content, and we're able to get it in front of their niche recipients, okay? So 55 and above resources, inventory update, right? What's available in what listings do I have now? And then, hey, we got the shred event coming up next week, right? So we're able to take any current events that are going on in the area and burning them right into the newsletter. There's no extra cost for any of this extra content we're going to write for you. We thoroughly enjoy helping agents get hyper-local because they're not doing it on their own. Many agents, if you saw their newsletter, it'd be, as I mentioned, recipes and moving day tips, right? Typical fluff, not with us. We're going to build articles that are going to lead you to better conversations. Because again, remember, we're going to build this crusade for you. We're going to go crazy trying to find every email address we can get from all your systems. Okay, down the bottom, we put video. I don't know if you guys are using video on your website or in your blogs, but we play video right inside the newsletter. Anything that rides on YouTube can ride right in your newsletter. Okay, Neighborhood 360. This is an article that is in every newsletter that we send out for you. Sure, you could take it out, but I know of no one that has, because it empowers your readers with the ability to pull up 155 million street addresses and everything that's going on in a radius of that front door, every front door in the country. So you know how agents down in Jersey say, hey, I'm the neighborhood expert. Well, what does that mean? Well, how many neighborhoods? How big's the neighborhood? No. We're going to get you to become the neighborhood expert, A, because you can prove it with this widget, and B, it covers every neighborhood in the country. Okay, so what we've got is, I'm going to show you some slides now out of a report that I pulled. But we can pull up by address, we could pull it up by zip code, by city, or certainly by state. We can also put another article. This is what we call a hyperlocal article. Hi, Stacy, how's the neighborhood looking? When somebody clicks the article, they're going to come up with a bunch of zip codes on the right-hand side there. And you're going to give me 8, 10, 15, 20 zip codes if you want. And we're going to put all these cool reports right behind them. You're going to be so proud to be sending out this newsletter. In fact, we're sending it for you, but it looks like it comes from you. It's your name and your subject line. Okay, so that's how you get hyper-local. Everybody wants to know what's sold down the street. So after the article gets opened, 20 seconds later, you're going to get an email. And it's going to say, somebody opened up your newsletter. Who is it? We've got it, obviously. Email address, phone number. What address did they pull up? Well, they're interested in something in Pine Knoll Shores, North Carolina. How do we know that? Because the system tells you. And then why do they want the report? Well, it's their home and they're thinking about selling it. So what these consumers are saying is, hit me with your best shot. And that's what we're going to do. Again, content becomes a conversation. And you know that they got this report because we deliver it to them right on their screen. You don't have to deliver anything, but we're going to give you a link for it so you could pull up your reports. You could leave it on the kitchen table at the open house. You could put it on all your social sites. We've got a great way for you to do that. When we open up the report, the first thing you're going to be able to see, and we're going to give this widget, this is free of charge. We're going to give it to everybody in the room there after this call. And you're going to be able to call me back and say, Al, how do I use this? It takes 5 seconds to learn how to use this. Okay, it's that easy. So housing price trends, we have all sorts of information about what's sold down the street. Where's the market going? Where's it been? Estimate the market value of any home in the country. So type in any address there, and this report's going to come up, and you're going to love it. Plays very well with your social sites. What's going on in the neighborhood? What kind of mortgages? Hey, how well educated is the neighborhood? Where's the demographics? Who's making what kind of money around here? So we're able to push that down, right? There's about 10 or 12 of these slides. Then we have school information. Well, we're not going to tell them what school they're going to. We're just going to tell them where the schools are. Okay, we want to stay out of that fair housing stuff. Then what else I did was I went out to Yelp and I bought Yelp for the whole country in these 7 categories. Okay. So happy hour, where we can go for bar food on Fridays, finer dining down the street. Okay, you'll notice everything has a distance. You'll notice what stores are available in the area, food stores, department stores. And this is within a radius of every front door in the country. You are the neighborhood expert because you have all this and you could prove it. Where are the Dunkin' Donuts? How close is the the Starbucks is only a third of a mile away. I have to live near a Starbucks. Okay. Well, we've got that covered. If you're into physical fitness, you want to know where all the gymnasiums are. We know where everything is there. We can get our tattoos removed and our toenails done. All the beauty salons in the area are highlighted in this report. And then finally, you have to be a pet-friendly realtor, right? Because 65% of all your clients, prospects, and friends, thus 65% of opening your newsletter, have pets. So you don't have to be a raving fan. You just got to look like you're a raving fan, right? So we're going to show you where all those animal resources are. And then at the end of the day, when we wrap all this up, we know what to send. And how do we know that? Well, we send out 4 million a month. We know what content works. We know what content doesn't work. Okay. We know how to make it actionable. They actually learn something. Okay. And it's memorable because it's coming in every 2 weeks, not once a month. It's every 2 weeks. And you may say that's an awfully, short distance to send 2 newsletters. But we can prove to you the numbers that the unsubscribe rate stays the same whether we send it every month or every 2 weeks. But we encourage you every 2 weeks. We know when to send it. Wendy, who in the room there can pick up their hand and give me the best day of week that you should be communicating this kind of information to your clients? What's the best day?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
No, Tuesday. Okay, very good. But more importantly, what time on Tuesday?
Tuesday. 10 a.m.
Nope.
5.
Nope.
7 p.m.
Nope.
12.
You're getting warm.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Very good. 2 o'clock to about 3:50. And
Okay.
we can't even tell you why that's the best time to do it. We just know that the numbers don't lie because we send out 4 million newsletters a month. We know when they get opened. We add it all up, run some algorithms, and say, this is when we should send your newsletter. And that will guarantee you maximum opens. Okay. So we're going to start you out at about 35% open rate. And that is going to grow to about 55, maybe 58% after a few newsletters. So their eager anticipation of this coming at them every 2 weeks is something you're going to be able to feel and see, right? Now, what we're all about here is because you're with ROG, I've got a contract with ROG, and we've been doing this for 5 years. We've been an approved supplier for 5 years. So what ROG said was, our agents don't want to pay a setup fee. And I said, well, that's great because, let me see if I put the right, yeah. That's great because all of our work is up front and we like to get paid up front. So after arguing for months and months, we decided to just wipe out the setup fee. So there is no $99 setup fee for the agents in ROG. The monthly payment normally starts at $69 a month to month, cancel at any time, no contracts. Okay. So we're going to ask you to come in at $50, but consider it a trial, a 1-month trial, because we're going to put 2 newsletters on the street for you. That's when you get to assess it and say, yeah, this is pretty cool. Or Al, I couldn't find any email addresses. I only have 10, whatever the excuse is, cancel, walk away. Here's your money. Here's your new database, right? Because we don't keep your database. It's yours. We'll give it back to you. So again, the agents that work our program love the fact that they can cancel at any time. It goes month to month, and there's no contracts. So today's refundable fee to get this thing up and running, and then obviously get the database built rapidly, get the database put in so none of your contacts get stolen by somebody else that's going to join Home Actions. So there's a bit of a first come, first served influence here. So again, $50 is all it takes for a newsletter, 2 newsletters a month for as many months as you want. So again, I'd like you to pick up the phone after our demo here and get back to your office. Give me a call. We'll get you set up for $50. We'll prove that it works, or you get your $50 back. So I understand how hard it is to earn commissions today with realtors. Believe me, I'm all over the country with realtors and constantly in front of them. And $50 is a lot of money. But if I can't prove to you that's worth it, I don't deserve to keep the money. Okay. And the last thing I need you to do is get back to Wendy and say, oh, Al ripped us off. That doesn't happen. Okay. I'm going to take you under my wing as president of the company to make sure this works for you. And I want Wendy talking to other broker owners, spreading the word in Jersey. That's fine. But this is a situation where, again, go back to that first page, a loyalty crusade. We want to build an allegiance with contacts that you have now and contacts you'll have down the road. So let's have some questions about the program, about the money, about anything you want. I built the system, so I can probably answer your questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
So if you have, client information that's in a couple different places, some of which may be repetitive, like, do you dedupe that information? If
Yeah, we take all the duplicates out. We take the bad email addresses out, the spam bots. We know how to build a database. We've been doing it for 21 years. So yeah, what we do is we get you on the phone and we'll say, hey, could you log into your Gmail? Please click here, 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 here. There's your Gmail list. It's very simple to save everything to a spreadsheet. And we will show you how to do that.
Al, is there a limitation on the number of contents?
Probably
Tom?
about 7,000.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, I don't know if everybody's got that many friends in Jersey, but we can let you up to 7,000 friends, maybe even 8,000.
So if we give access to our Google, not everybody in my Google is exactly someone that I'm gonna want to add in, then you can go into it and just eliminate.
Perfect question. When you export out of Gmail, it's going to open up a spreadsheet. You could take anybody off there you want before you send it to us. Okay? So that ensures that only the people you want are going to get your newsletter.
Right. And then you'll let us know if I put somebody on and they're already attached to somebody else, you'll say, okay, this person is blocked.
You've got a whole dashboard of all the metrics. In fact, I thought I brought somebody's dashboard in here. I guess I didn't. No. Well, yeah, here at the top. You'll see all your tools at the top of this page. Go to reports and you'll be able to pull this down and say, hey, I want a list of everybody that is not in my newsletter now because they're in somebody else's. I want them to get my newsletter. So if they unsubscribe from Agent 1, you automatically get them in your database. Okay?
That's good.
So that's a policy we have, and we've always had that policy. We just want you to grow the biggest database. Let us nurture it for you. We're going to give you intelligence on it, and we're going to protect it, right? Because nobody else is going to be able to attack your contacts. Next question, please. Go ahead.
Quick question. As a new agent, doesn't have a large client base. You basically build this database of friends and family.
Yeah. And
Okay.
everybody from your last job, right? I don't know how old you are, sir, but I don't know what you did before this either, but everybody's got contacts in their Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, somewhere. Okay? And you're, as a brand new agent, how long are you an agent, sir?
Well, I've been on and off for years, but I'm one.
All right. So these days, though, the consumer expects you know everything about everything around here. Okay, from the schools down to what's sold down the street. Okay, that's almost expected of an agent today because of all this access to data. So we're going to equip you with the widget, and the widget. In fact, I'm going to. I don't know if I put it into this presentation here. Let me see if I have it shareable. I don't want to waste your time. Well, everybody's gonna get the widget for free anyway. I'm gonna send it to you, Wendy, and we'll send it to the agents.
Yes, great.
And
Thank
question,
you.
So
Next question, please.
we're gonna send you a bunch of email addresses and contacts. How do we know, or how do you tell us who's already getting something from somebody else?
Well, because our databases, we built it smartly, so we make sure that nobody gets more than one newsletter, right? Because I don't want a consumer getting 5 newsletters from 5 different agents. That's for all the other competing services out there. They don't care because go ahead.
I send you 1,000 contacts. Of those 1,000, let's say
100.
100 are with somebody else. How do I know that 100 is not going to get my newsletter?
Because once we upload a list for you, we spit out all that data on who's in, who's not in, why aren't they in? They may have unsubscribed, or they may be enrolled in somebody else's newsletter. Okay,
tell-
so I'm going to give you that list.
Okay.
Perfect.
And you'll
And
be
it's-
able to work on that list as, when you want. Just clean up a couple, or if you know the people, right? For some reason they got some other agent there, but I don't have a lot of people in your part of Jersey doing this.
Al, is there a way, because I'm just brainstorming, is there a way for like, if the agents wanted to, like John, if John wanted to do this adult community that he lives in, is there a way for him to send a postcard with a QR code for this newsletter?
Yeah,
And if you want to join the Westlake newsletter, scan here. Is there a way to do
right.
that?
And also in the newsletter, we can put an article for my friends in Westlake.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you
Okay,
can-
that's pretty cool because only the people that live in Westlake are going to click that article. I'm going to tell you who clicked that article and how many times,
Amazing.
right? Because there's always something going on inside that subdivision or whatever you want to call it, development. And you're going to be able to be the expert there because everybody in the development's going to have your newsletter.
Now, Al, I have a directory of over 1,400 homes in my development with their email addresses.
Bingo. What we would do is we would put in 100 or 200 at a time every week or so, because we don't want to pepper the whole community because you might get a bad call from the president of the association, right?
I know.
They probably have rules against marketing, but when somebody sees your newsletter, it's like, this is good stuff. It's not, salesy.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
it
we
is-
would put an article in every newsletter and you could tell me what's happened this week. Hey, 3 houses sold, 2 condos, 1 single family. Any questions, get me. So you become the neighborhood expert in that subdivision.
And as time goes on, I want to add new ones. I just do it manually.
Yeah, there's a dashboard. You can do it annually, or you can just say, hey, Al, send me an email. Al, I met 4 people in an open house yesterday, put them in. We'll do that for you because sometimes you're going to forget it. Okay,
So
again, our mission is to help you get the biggest database. And even if there's email addresses in there and you don't know where you got them from, put them in because somebody else is going to.
It's a way of competing with the other realtors in the developments.
Yes.
basically.
Yeah,
And that's all well and good, but if they're not doing this, you can make it almost look like you're doing a specific newsletter for that development.
Right.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's
it
How
huge.
do
is.
you get their email? In the whole.
So
they're going to hit the QR code.
You're gonna send out a mailer with the QR code. As soon as they scan it, they're gonna have to fill out something in order to get it.
Right, we're gonna show them a newsletter and then to sign up for the newsletter, right? And that's when they give you their email address. And Wendy, don't you have some kind of competition coming up in a couple weeks?
We're in the middle of a listing competition, right?
Yeah, you're
As-
listening. That's what you were telling me about. Yeah. So what a better way than step in front of everybody you know every 2 weeks with something that's valuable. No one's ever, I think brought something like this. Like when Wendy found out what we had, she fell in love with it. And we're going to do the same thing for recruiting. Same idea, same engine, same reporting, just different content. So yeah,
So-
Wendy, I'd love to, help agents strategize on how to get more listings.
Cause that's what it's all about. Cause
Yeah.
only survive with listings, you don't survive with buyers.
Yeah, the
So-
way I say it is, if you're not hanging around with people that could put money in your pocket, you're not going to get money in your pocket.
I literally just say that to you an hour ago.
I just made that up an hour ago too.
You could generate a QR code. He would tell me, what the link is. We create the QR code. You do a mailer, stick the QR code on the mailer and say, hey, this is now, Holiday City Carefree's official newsletter of what's going on.
Well, you want to stick away from official, stay away from that word, right?
All
But,
right,
yeah, yeah, we'll come up with some good language that's unoffensive, put it that way.
yeah. So we can come up with something. So it looks like it is what it is. The seniors, most of them are still doing emails. So Al, tell us again about what you were saying. Was there some sort of an integration you're working on for the mobile devices, for phone numbers?
Yeah, you'll be able to open up your text, take somebody that texted you and their number is 908-252-55512, just hit reply and we will send you a little script. It's a little piece of code. And then when you send that, all you do is cut and paste it into your text and they get the text. Now, 98% of people open their text. Okay, so they're gonna see your newsletter and it looks cool on an iPhone. That's why I want everybody to go to this phone number here. Where'd it go?
So it's like the same when you share your,
What happened to my 570 number?
when you share your contact card, it comes up with your little face.
Here somewhere. There it is. 570-510-3507. And I'll look for any clicks. All right. Lisa, hey Lisa,
No.
Where is it?
Lisa Germino. Oh,
Five,
Gail, okay, there's a couple more. All right, so
510.
send me that, and you're gonna say, hey, this is, again, pretty cool, a good way to get more email addresses. That's what we're all about. There's
Yeah.
That was my
Um,
call.
So what
Dana.
I'd like you to do is, if you've got interest in home actions, didn't even send an order form because I just forgot to send it to Wendy. You can give me a call. I'll explain everything here that we just went over on the phone. I'll explain the pricing plan. It's a $50. It's not a commitment. It's a trial for 1 month. And the fact is, if you do try the trial for 1 month, then I've got to make it worth it, right? Because if I don't, you're getting your money back.
Sounds
Okay?
great.
So again, just give me a call at this. I'll put find my bigger number and email address on the last page here. That's me over in Scranton. And then what we'll do is we're going to set up training. We can do one-on-one training, or we can do collaborative training and have, somebody come up with some good questions. I'll give you all the good answers. So
Okay.
we want you using this thing. We want you falling in love with it. We want you sleeping, eating, and breathing this. Okay. Now, remember, I'll give you one more stat from NAR. The percentage of consumers that used an agent for a transaction, what's the percentage that thought the agent did a great job? They'll gladly use the agent again and, almost guaranteed another deal. The answer is 90%. 90% of everybody used an agent said they would use the same agent again. Do you know how many actually do? 16%. So
Because they can't.
how much money are you guys, I'm not trying to scare you, but how much money are you leaving on the table because you're not in front of people that could make a real estate decision? Okay, and you're going to help them make these decisions, we hope. Okay, so this allegiance, if you will, that's the big term that we're pushing in the last couple of months, allegiance and crusade. Because if you don't come at this with fire in your belly, it's not going to work. But that's why you're hiring me and my 30 employees, okay? Because we do this all the time for agents. We'd rather just do it rather than have you become a publisher, okay? There's also this is the last one I'll tell you about, but another feature is it's called On Target. It's built into your dashboard. It gives you the ability to wake up on a Tuesday morning, open up a blank page, put anything on it, an open house this weekend, fireworks displays this weekend, whatever. Push it on a thing, push it out, and it goes out immediately. It's literally publishing on demand. And this is good for single use or single idea emails, such as, here's this week's open house. Okay, here's something that's going on at the Chamber of Commerce. Here's the calendar of events at the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, you're gonna be able to push anything out literally whenever you want. Now, of course, you wouldn't abuse that and send something every day, but you could. So how about if I could just get a show of hands, how many people would think about subscribing to my program? Wendy, how many hands you got there?
The whole room.
The whole room. Okay. I did my job. Now we just have to deliver on my promise, okay? That this thing is going to be cool. So
Yeah.
what I will do is I will send Wendy an order form now. And Wendy, you could send it to everybody that's in the room there, or everybody. And we will literally start building databases this afternoon if you're around. Like
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 o'clock. And at the end of the day, when you go home tonight, you say, man, I always wanted something like that. And I thank God Wendy's there to say, hey, Al, I want you in front of my agent. So we put them all together.
No, it's awesome.
Al,
Lisa's got a
Yeah, go
question.
ahead, please. Question?
so there's nobody there that can go into my email and find those emails.
She wants
There's no
some,
service for that.
What do
She
you want to
wants-
do?
she wants someone to go into her email and export all of her contacts.
Yeah, I could do all that. We do that 24/7.
Oh,
Okay,
That's great.
so she doesn't have to export her own contacts and give them
No,
to you?
we'll do it for them. It takes about 60 seconds to export out of Gmail.
Hey, Al, I have a
I have
question.
AOL too.
Oh,
AOL, okay, so you've been around a while.
Oh, my
She's
AOL is
old.
like 28 years old.
Yeah, she's old.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It takes about 60 seconds also to go into AOL and export everything.
Okay, and one more quick question. Do you just, I know this is for realtors, do you do other businesses?
Yeah, we're the largest distributor of newsletters for the legal profession. And we do, what else do? We do law firms, we do
What about-
CPAs.
Cars.
Car business.
Yeah, we could take all of our content out and only put in car information.
Okay, I'm gonna give my husband your number.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on, obviously, now in the auto industry, and you could, I can't write that content, but he probably already has it on his website somewhere.
Probably does.
Yeah, he's a sales manager for Porsche.
ooh, we got
Okay, so we can do that. Well, he's got lots of, content like that, high-end content, that'd be fine.
Okay.
But there's also things, because anybody that's trying to buy a Porsche is probably a homeowner, probably has a lot of these issues that we go over with our content. So your husband may say, oh, put these 2 articles in that are already in.
Yeah.
So you could take articles out, you can bring articles in, we could create new articles for you. Right, so if you got something to sell, I got an engine that works for any industry, but
Okay.
specifically if you mentioned, Porsche, that's fine.
Okay.
Christine has a question.
Go ahead, Christine.
I'll be putting this in a 55 and older. Do you have, I know we just went through the list of what you have, WAGs and restaurants, but do you have hospitals and like surgery centers or all that would be as
No,
well?
what we're working on next is golf courses and parks that are animal friendly.
That's good.
Okay, but not like the nearest hospitals and all that?
No.
Yeah, I don't have that, and I'd have to go back to my data people, Adam Data and CoreLogic, and say, why don't we have hospitals?
Yeah, ask them, because that,
Medi
we're going into
centers,
yeah.
walking
Urgent
centers,
care.
urgent care, stuff like that.
Urgent care, yeah, man, that's a growing field.
I'll
Let me
call
write
Charlotte.
these down. See, I learned something from you guys today.
Yeah, because we have a tremendous, in New Jersey, we have a tremendous amount of adult community or senior living communities.
Mhm.
And so it would be something of value, especially someone that's coming down from somewhere else,
Yeah.
to make sure that they know where the walk-ins or the urgent centers or anything like that are.
That's a good.
Urgent care, okay.
Good question.
Thank you.
Because we're always looking for urgent care, no matter where you're at.
All right, so the way we're gonna leave this, Wendy, I'm gonna send you an order form now, okay?
Yes.
And on there will be, now, does anybody want an annual plan to save some more money?
how much you save.
Okay, so right now, $50 times 12 months, that represents 600 over the year, right? You guys are good at math?
Yeah.
No, we're realtors, no. But anyway,
The numbers don't lie. So what I could do is I can do 500 for 14 months. 500 is cheaper than the 600, so you're saving $100 there. You're getting 2 extra months, which is worth $100. So you're saving $200 over the year. You don't have to sign up for, the monthly is the easiest on the cash flow, but if you had a good month, you might want to just knock this whole thing out right now for 500. But it's good for 13th month and 14th month.
okay.
And then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so
We'll
that saves you $200.
We'll give everybody that option on the order form, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna rework the order form right now with this pricing that I just told you about. Send you a PDF. You could send it to all them. Anybody that's really eager to get this going, just give me a call in a half hour. Okay?
Got it.
And even though your account's not built, we could start building your database.
Sounds good. And I gotta
All
work
right.
on my,
So Wendy, just remember who's in the room there in case we, because I want to send the neighborhood 360. I'm going to send that to anybody. First off, grab my phone number again, and then send me your text and say, Al, send me the widget. So all you got to say is, Al, send me the widget to 570-510-3507. Okay, and you're gonna have fun with this thing this weekend. If you've got any open houses going on, give me a call. I'll show you how to pull it up, and we're gonna leave it on the kitchen table. because they're going to say, nice house, but what do you know about the neighborhood? What do most agents do when they hear that? Change the subject. Why? Nothing to give, nothing to handle. Now you have something. This is a cool, colorful report, as you can see, and we're going to make sure that you get it for free. All
Perfect.
right. So that's where we are. More questions? I got more time for you guys if you want.
Anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, if we
Anybody
want
else?
to start it out monthly,
Oh, I have
$50, because, you know, to get the cash flow really going. And then we say, okay, let's go to yearly. Can we switch over?
Yeah, you could always switch. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
So my contacts are spread between a few different communities. Like, so I wouldn't have just like one neighborhood, I would have.
Right.
That doable?
You own the first 5 articles in every newsletter. So you could have, for my friends in Wainwright HOA, for my friends in, Westover Park, whatever. You just got to tell us what you want and we'll build it. And we'll send you a proof.
Variety of what.
Every time your newsletter goes out the door, 4 days before that, you get a notice. So you can't miss it, right? Like, hey, Al, then you pick up the phone, you call Al, MLS ID 1234, boom. We got NJ MLS or whatever you have. We know how to take all that information, make it look pretty, and get your listings at the top of the articles in the newsletter. And we'll tell you who clicked on your listing on 123 Main Street. Right? Because you want that intelligence on what's going on. The Joneses, I moved them 5 years ago. Then maybe they're looking again, right? Because you know what they're clicking on, downloading, and sharing.
Yes.
So, excuse me, so you said her listing, so if I'm listing something, it's gonna go to all of us?
So
all
Al,
ours?
so let's say like one agent has one really hot property.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can have that Christine's property propagated on every single one of ours
Like in the group?
in the group?
In the group. What's the group?
So like if it's Christine's listing,
It's a listing that
And-
doesn't belong to us.
well, yeah, it
Individual.
belongs to me, right? So if I say I want Mike to share that listing on Michelle's newsletter that month.
Oh, I see. Yeah. As long as Michelle allows that, because Michelle's paying for this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll obviously trust you. You know your guys better than I do. But if you tell me, Al, here's an MLS ID 1234. I want to put it in 5 agents' newsletters.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
So good.
That's
Yeah.
huge. Because not only did we just increase, like I just said, I have about 1,500. I know you've got over 2,000 people. So
Mhm.
there, you just added 10,000 people's eyes on that listing that would
Yeah.
never see.
And each of those agents will be able to work the listing or, carve you out a deal, right? I don't know how you share these things, but I don't care.
That's the piece of my worries, but the exposure.
We've never had any fistfights in an office. I'll tell you that, Wendy.
But that's really value when we go to a listing presentation and I can tell you 100% that no other brokerage, when my newsletter or my office newsletters go out in 2 weeks, that 10,000 eyes will see it. I
Yeah.
can get it.
Plus
That's
the reverse
huge.
prospecting.
Plus reverse prospect, that's huge.
That's a great idea.
Everybody put 7 Mitchell in. the
Everybody has
newsletter.
I have an office in California that they're not doing it that way, but we added up all the contacts. There were 35,000 email addresses that we have that surround that office. 35,000, okay? And the agent doesn't pay any more than the agent that has 2,000, right? Just add them all up and the numbers are going to grow. And then we're locking all that in. Because frankly, I'm not going to go down the street to Keller Williams, Century 21, and Coldwell Banker and sell this. My allegiance is with ROG.
Yes,
That's,
And I give
Yeah.
a good chunk of my revenue back to ROG. You know how that works.
I do.
I'm happy with the ROG business we have now.
So we can figure out all of these things. We can figure out all these things. If we're doing an event, we're doing a specific event, like our client appreciation, our Pi Day. If we're doing that right before Thanksgiving, we start putting that into the newsletters, everybody's newsletters in October.
Yeah.
So everybody knows.
And what's going on with the Labor Day celebrations? And where's the fireworks on the 4th of July? All right.
Like that.
They put all
Simple
that
things
in.
like that.
Yeah, where are the shredding events? Where's this? Where's the dog events? Where's this? All of things that we can,
The
we
one I
can
just signed up
coordinate.
for in Millstone in August, I can put that.
You
in.
can put that in. Come see
good.
Michelle. Come see Michelle at the Allentown Day, Jackson Day,
So
all of
we
these
first
things.
do the flyer first and have it, and
So first of all, what you do is you get as
Hey,
money as
Look,
possible.
can you guys see what's on the screen now? The annual shred event. It's this Saturday,
Was
but
that-
you have to go to Oregon though.
Gotta go to Oregon.
I have a box, that's why.
Well, mom is
Yeah,
counting.
that'll be a heavy box to take to Oregon. But you're right. Any kind of local events. So Wendy, you may come across a local event and say, Al, tell my team. So we'll send an email to everybody saying, do you want this in your newsletter?
Yeah.
We'll build that newsletter for you.
Good. Love it. And I'm sure as we go, there's other things that we'll come up with that we can increase just the reach. And that's the point of this, is the reach that we can get. Like all of us cooperating and collaborating it together.
No, that's great. I don't find many teams like that, but I'm going to start creating them, if you will, because it's a great tool.
Yeah, well, my office is very different than most, is we're collaborative. We're not competitive. We're competitive in a good way, but not cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
Office is very different.
Will
Yeah.
this download as a PDF if you wanted this printout to bring?
Yeah, I don't have an image right now to show you, but right across your toolbar, let me see if I do have it. No, I don't have the right screen here, but you could save it as a PDF. Every newsletter that we create for you has its own unique address, URL. So that's where you can open up your Facebook and say, hey, gang, everybody look at my current newsletter. Put the link right there. Okay,
It's
or send it to your phone. We already talked about that. Or any social media. If you want us to really promote your Instagram page, I think on
What, your Instagram, your TikTok, or
Oh my
any other
God.
page?
yeah, any
Girl, this,
Link.
copy the URL.
I was trying to open up a newsletter for
Forever.
Love it.
yeah, but I have a big ad that drives traffic to your Instagram page.
What's the big ad for Instagram?
So whatever, and then I'll tell you who clicked on the ad, right? Because there's a really big on this screen you're looking at right now, new ways of thinking about patios. Right on top of that, you'll see some white space before the 3 links.
Right?
And that's where a big follow me on Instagram would go. When they click it, they obviously land on your Instagram page. But I'll tell you who clicked on my website, about me, home search, because I don't have a home search in here. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I want to drive them to your home search page on your website. I also, there's other things I don't have that you want there. Maybe a contact me form. We certainly have ways to get contacted, but the idea is we want to push visitorship to your website.
Yes.
And maybe you've been successful so far where you haven't really cared about your website. That's okay. We don't have to do that. But most agents don't know how many people visited their website, so they can't even come up with an idea.
And the beauty of all this is that we the agents don't have to manage this. We just have to read an email every couple of weeks to check to see I like this and I like this. But all of this is all back end. This is, back office stuff. You set it up, you put in your office, you put in all your contact stuff, and it runs it for you. If you come up with an idea, we send it over to Al. Can you add this in? This is just, to me, everything that we're supposed to be doing that nobody has time to do.
Right.
Without in a total social media department, right?
Yeah, this is a emailable website. Everything you would want on your website, we've got here. We're going to push it out to everybody every 2 weeks. And we're going to tell you who opened it. So yeah, this is us doing the grunt work because it's not getting done right now on your own terms, on your own situation.
What's your question?
So yeah, if we can get 50, if there's 7, how many agents in the office, Wendy?
We have 16 total.
16 total. So we've got 7 people by it there today. There's 14, maybe, I don't know, at least 7,000.
Office so far.
Yeah, because the average agent using our program has 620 contacts.
Yeah, I have more than that in my Google alone.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, you know what, I really don't wanna subscribe, if there's like a
Yeah.
unsubscribe and then that's it, we'll get notified or?
Yeah, there has to be by law an unsubscribe button, one click button at the bottom of the newsletter, and there is.
And
And then you'll get an email saying Betty Jane just unsubscribed, and you know, you don't have to call Betty Jane back.
Gotcha.
But you know, generally there's those conspiracy theorists. Hey, how'd you find my email address? Who do you think you are emailing me? I don't know who you are. Okay,
Exactly.
just unsubscribe. It's not a big deal.
Opt
It's
out.
no different than any other business that
Right.
emails you. once you
There
buy
has to be
something.
opt out and let them opt out. We don't want them anyway.
Right.
Right.
By
But they
all
don't
means.
have to opt in though. You don't have to ask for permission. The rule is you can put anybody in your newsletter as long as you give them a one-click way to get out.
Good. Anybody else have any questions? Good.
Who do I write the check to?
Not me. All right, I'll
Okay,
send
so
you.
we're recording this, Wendy. So when the recording is done, I'll send it to you. You can get those other agents on board too.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group that's specifically for the office. So
Yeah.
I'll upload it to Facebook.
Alright.
And then send me the PDF for the order form and we'll get it rolling.
Now, Wendy, what was that other office you mentioned that was up the street?
So the Red Bank office, which is Open Door,
Yeah.
and Lifestyle, which is in Westfield.
Westfield. There's a realtor every 6 feet in Westfield, right?
No, I know. But those two brokers were supposed to jump on the call today. I guess they got too busy. But what I'll do is I'll send them the recording and I'll tell
Yeah.
them to reach out to you.
And that I do. They can also do that idea of sending the listing through everybody else's newsletter,
Sure.
right? Because I think that they have more than 18 agents per office, right? Open Door.
Sure. I'm not gonna tell them that, but neither are you, but okay.
Oh, do you compete with them, or are they that close?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. They're in different counties. They're in
Oh,
different.
okay. Because I would never do that unless you told me to do
No,
it.
No, I'm in Ocean County and the rest of them are in other counties, so that's fine.
All right, so we're gonna make sure that Keller Williams doesn't get this, or Century
Hell
21.
no. Hell no.
I'm sorry I mentioned that terrible name.
That's blasphemy here, but no. This was all great. I appreciate it. Send me over the order form and I'll get it to the agents right away.
Be working on that in 5 minutes. Thanks, guys, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you for your time you spent today, and we're gonna have some fun coming up with all these ideas.
I love it. Thanks, Al.
All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.